Good evening, viewers. You're watching DV Real News TV, your trusted source for real-time updates, verified reports, and in-depth analysis across Africa and beyond. I'm Jojo Zaza. We begin today's top story with breaking news from Nigeria's northeast. A daring and devastating assault on a military installation in Borno State has rocked the nation and renewed concerns about insurgent strength in the region. In the early hours of Monday morning, May 12, 2025, heavily armed insurgents affiliated with the Islamic State West Africa Province, known widely as ISWAP, launched a coordinated attack on a Nigerian military base situated in Dambo, a local government area of Borno State. According to military insiders and local security sources, the militants, traveling in convoys of gun-mounted trucks, descended on the facility under the cover of darkness, catching stationed troops off guard. Eyewitness reports and intelligence briefings gathered by DV Real News TV confirm that the insurgents overwhelmed the base after a fierce gun battle lasting several hours. Tragically, the attack resulted in the deaths of an undisclosed number of military personnel. Multiple soldiers are feared missing, with some reportedly taken captive by the assailants. Sources close to the Nigerian armed forces revealed that the attackers looted arms, ammunition, and destroyed valuable military infrastructure during the raid. Communication towers, armored vehicles, and supply caches were all targeted in what officials have called a highly calculated and brutal assault. This marks one of the most significant breaches of a fortified military position in recent months, reigniting public concern over the operational capacity of extremist groups in the Lake Chad Basin. The Nigerian presidency has responded swiftly. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is currently in Abuja, condemned the attack in the strongest terms and ordered a high-level investigation into what he described as a shocking failure of intelligence and preparedness. In a statement released by his spokesperson this afternoon, the commander-in-chief vowed that those responsible for the assault would be brought to justice and that the fallen heroes would be honored with full military rights. According to media aid to the president, I quote, "His Excellency President Bola Tinubu extends his deepest condolences to the families of the brave soldiers who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation. The federal government is committed to a full investigation and will leave no stone unturned in ensuring the perpetrators face the full wrath of justice." This attack comes amid ongoing military operations in the region, part of Nigeria's long-standing battle against ISWAP and Boko Haram factions who have continued to exploit the rugged terrain and porous borders of the northeast. Just last month, the Nigerian Air Force reported success in neutralizing over 80 insurgents during an aerial assault near the Sambisa forest. Yet, today's events highlight the enduring volatility of the region and the adaptive tactics of insurgent cells. Following the raid, reinforcements from the Joint Task Force, Operation Hadinkai, were immediately mobilized. Sources confirmed that aerial reconnaissance missions have been launched to track the fleeing insurgents and assess damage to the base. Unconfirmed reports suggest that retaliatory airstrikes have already been executed against suspected ISWAP hideouts in the Mandara Mountains and along the Sambisa axis. According to the security analyst, I quote, "What we're seeing is a persistent insurgency that continues to challenge the Nigerian state's control over rural territories. The army has made significant gains over the years, but these attacks show the insurgents' ability to regroup, exploit weak points, and deliver symbolic blows that carry psychological and strategic impact. Nationwide, the security alert level has been raised. Troop deployments have been adjusted to reinforce key positions across the northeast corridor, especially along the Borno-Yobe border axis. The Nigerian public has been urged to remain calm but vigilant and to report any suspicious activities to the nearest authorities. In addition, humanitarian concerns are growing, as this latest attack threatens to displace even more residents already grappling with a prolonged crisis. Tonight, Nigeria mourns, but it also questions. How were these attackers able to breach a strategic military outpost? Why were reinforcements delayed? And what new strategies must be deployed to prevent such tragedies in the future? These are questions the military high command must answer swiftly, transparently, and convincingly. Let's turn our focus to the oil-rich creeks of the Niger Delta, where the Nigerian Navy has carried out another decisive operation in its continuing campaign to protect Nigeria's economic lifeline from criminal exploitation. In a well-coordinated strike executed over the weekend, personnel from the Nigerian Navy's forward operating base in Escravos, Delta State, dismantled 6 illicit oil refining camps hidden deep within the mangrove-covered waterways of Obodo Medina, located in the Warri South local government area. This operation forms part of Operation Delta Sanity 2, an intensified maritime security initiative spearheaded by the Nigerian Navy to combat crude oil theft and environmental sabotage in the Niger Delta, a region long plagued by the activities of oil bunkering syndicates and illegal refinery operators. According to the commanding officer of the forward operating base, the raids were carried out following actionable intelligence pointing to the presence of large-scale illegal refining operations in the area. The Navy encountered multiple makeshift refining installations, comprising industrial ovens and storage pits, many of which were active at the time of the raid. According to Navy Commander Him said, "Our personnel neutralized 6 active refining sites and recovered over 1,900 liters of stolen crude oil, stored in 10 pits and 2 operational ovens." These illegal operations are not only stealing national resources but also devastating our environment. Obodo or Medina and its surrounding communities are part of a wider network of coastal zones often exploited by illegal refiners who tap directly into crude oil pipelines. These operators use locally fabricated equipment to distill crude oil into low-grade petrol and diesel, leaving behind trails of toxic waste in the fragile mangrove ecosystem. The environmental impact of these unlawful operations is catastrophic. Leaked crude oil contaminates groundwater and river systems, while burning waste and sludge releases harmful chemicals into the air. Residents, particularly fishing communities, suffer the most, facing depleted fish stocks, health hazards, and displacement. Operation Delta Sanity 2 is the Navy's strategic push to clamp down on oil theft and restore state control over maritime and inland waterways. Since the beginning of the year, the operation has recorded numerous successes, deactivating illegal camps across Bayelsa, Rivers, and now Delta State. The Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral, has reiterated that the Navy will not relent in dismantling the criminal networks exploiting Nigeria's oil economy. According to him, the protection of national assets is a constitutional duty and a strategic imperative for Nigeria's future. Experts estimate that Nigeria loses billions of naira annually to crude oil theft and unregulated refining. Beyond the economic loss, this crisis undermines investor confidence, damages vital infrastructure, and increases insecurity in the region. The federal government has pledged to intensify interagency coordination to root out these cartels. According to energy policy expert, I quote, "For every illegal refining site the Navy takes down, dozens more are likely in operation. But what's changing now is the consistency of these crackdowns and the growing public support for protecting our shared environment and economy." To complement enforcement, the Navy is also working with local leaders to educate communities about the risks of participating in illegal refining and encouraging legal economic alternatives. Trust-building efforts, according to military sources, are vital to long-term success. The message from the Navy is clear: economic sabotage will not be tolerated, and illegal refining activities, regardless of their size, will be met with decisive force. But the long-term solution lies in comprehensive reforms, sustainable livelihood options, and inclusive development for the oil-producing regions of Nigeria. Let's delve into the remarkable rise of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the interim president of Burkina Faso, whose leadership has not only reshaped his nation but also captured the attention and admiration of people worldwide. Since assuming power in September 2022, Captain Ibrahim Traoré has emerged as a symbol of resilience and transformation. At just 34 years old, he became the world's youngest head of state, taking the reins of a nation grappling with political instability and a relentless jihadist insurgency. Traoré's ascent followed the ousting of interim President Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, marking the second coup in Burkina Faso within a year. His leadership has been characterized by a bold departure from traditional alliances and a fervent push for national sovereignty. One of Traoré's most significant moves was distancing Burkina Faso from its former colonial power, France. This shift included the expulsion of French troops and diplomats, a move that resonated with many citizens who viewed France's presence as a vestige of colonialism. In their place, Traoré has sought new partnerships, notably with Russia, signaling a realignment of Burkina Faso's foreign policy. In collaboration with neighboring Mali and Niger, Traoré has been instrumental in forming the Alliance of Sahel States, a confederation aimed at fostering regional integration and self-reliance. This alliance seeks to establish a common market, implement a monetary union, and enhance joint security efforts, reflecting a collective desire to break free from external dependencies. The alliance has announced plans for a joint military force of 5,000 personnel to combat Islamist insurgents across the region. This initiative underscores Traoré's commitment to restoring security and stability in Burkina Faso and its neighbors. Domestically, Traoré has launched several initiatives to bolster the economy and assert control over national resources. Notably, his administration approved the construction of Burkina Faso's first gold refinery, aiming to process gold domestically and increase government revenue. Additionally, he suspended export permits for small-scale gold production to curb illicit trade and ensure proper documentation. These measures are part of a broader strategy to harness Burkina Faso's natural resources for national development, reducing reliance on foreign entities and promoting economic self-sufficiency. Traoré's influence extends beyond politics and economics into the cultural realm. In a symbolic break from colonial traditions, Burkina Faso's judiciary has replaced French-style black robes with traditional Faso Danfani garments. This move reflects a growing emphasis on national identity and cultural pride. By embracing indigenous customs and attire, Traoré's administration is fostering a sense of unity and national pride among Burkinabe citizens. Internationally, Traoré's leadership has garnered both admiration and criticism. Supporters praise his assertive stance on sovereignty and anti-colonial rhetoric, while critics express concern over the postponement of democratic elections and reports of human rights abuses by security forces. Despite these challenges, Traoré's popularity remains strong, particularly among the youth and Pan-Africanist movements, who view him as a beacon of hope and a catalyst for change. As Burkina Faso continues to navigate complex political and security landscapes, the world watches closely. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's leadership represents a pivotal moment in the nation's history, with potential implications for the broader West African region. DV Real News TV will continue to monitor developments in Burkina Faso and provide you with timely, accurate, and comprehensive coverage. For now, I'm Jojo Zaza, thanking you for joining us. Stay informed, stay engaged, and good night.